The views expressed in the Up Inside Your podcast are that of its presenters and do not reflect the views of sponsors. However, side effects may include laughter, love, black business promotion, constructive criticism, understanding, laughter, fun, withdrawal symptoms when we go on vacation, laughter, and scintillating conversation.
We up inside here. We up inside here. We up inside here.
No,
We up inside here. We up inside here. I brought my special cap tonight because we up inside here. I feel like rapping that thing, but I really want to kill one of with my talent and that sort of thing. But let me keep it simple up in here tonight. It is the Up Inside Your podcast. It is the Versus series, second season. We doing big things about here. Tonight we speaking about naivety. Or would you say naivety versus experience? I have my beautiful host, Janelle. Say good night to the people, Janelle. Say hi.
good
Say good night.
night.
And we got my boy, my brother from another mother. You know, we gotta talk about me in the rap scene, right? My brother from another mother. My
Bet,
boy
bet.
Keita. My boy Keita 246. What's
Cool,
going
bro.
on?
Cool, bro.
I
Good night,
can't
for
believe
good night.
I can't believe Rico up in here causing me and him already. He asking me if this is the cap that I borrowed from here 2012. At that
Well,
point, I thought I had
Rico had to
dreadlocks.
run. Rico had to run the Eve stuff. Then you were hot in
I
2012.
mean, come
Expect to
on.
get back.
He's
And then
expect to get
expect to
that
get
back.
back. Nah,
Experience
boy.
should tell him that he's being naive. That's what I think.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Can't get it
But
back. Can't
but
get
but
his money
but
back. Can't get his cap
can I
back.
get the hat back? Can I get it back?
Can't
So
get it back.
let me talk a bit about naivety. Let
Wait,
me break down these
before you
things.
go
But
further, Ty,
yes,
before you
sir.
go
Talk to
further,
me. Talk to
let me
me.
talk to you first. This podcast
Okay.
has been brought to you by the good folks at Trevor
Ooh.
and Tony's Tire Shop. We got
Woo-hoo. Them is
the
my
first
saviors.
mobile massage therapy. We
Woo.
Me
got
first.
Barely Sober Entertainment. We got C-Bell. And we also got Alarosity Media Productions
Big
live
up
in this
Alarosity.
thing.
Big
All the
up
time.
Alarosity. And we can't
Everything.
forget about Trader Cuts Barber Studio, big man.
Yeah,
That's the
can't
first
get
people
Trent
that
Cuts.
come
I
on
am
with
yet to
them.
Yeah,
get my
Yeah.
haircut.
And you
yeah.
know we was there
And
last
Janelle didn't
week.
Trent Cuts tomorrow. So I
Supposed to
heard.
be tomorrow.
So
But
people
Supposed to
heard
be
it.
tomorrow.
I
Supposed to be
He
tomorrow.
didn't Trent Cuts
still think
tomorrow.
about it.
Yeah. So let me hop right into the podcast. Let me talk about naivety.
Yeah.
Being
Go
naive
ahead.
is a lack. Well, this is the definition I saw that being naive is a lack of sophistication or neglecting pragmatism in favor of moral idealism. That them is big words there, though.
I
Yeah, it's
love,
all good. Yeah, yeah.
I love,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I
yeah,
love.
that is real big words, though.
It's always like
But I
you.
can put it in Beijing, but I can put it in Beijing, but I can tell when what experience is now. Whereas experience is using practical application or observation with facts and even events. So another pulling from experience based off of things that would occur in your life or other people's lives. Whereas naivety, you don't know. You just going based off of your lack of understanding or what you think is the appropriate response or action or whatever the case may be. And I've got so many ways that this could be applied. And we're gonna try to touch as many as we can tonight before we run out of time. But this was a topic that was very, very near and dear to me. I think like all of the others. But they may say that experience is the greatest teacher. Now I can pose that question to you, the Up Inside You viewers tonight, as well as Keita and Janelle. Do you believe, or do you give weight, value, and credence to the saying that experience is the greatest teacher? Talk to me, people. Then
They're
anybody can
studying it.
start.
It's not an
Anybody can
exam.
start. Anybody can start. It's either yes or no.
Not
You
an
either agree with it
exam.
or you don't.
I think it plays a part. I believe that experience
Uh huh.
plays a big part in people learning, etc. I know that being naive is you may lack judgment, and with experience, you're better able to judge things and make better or more informed decisions. But there are a lot of people who may not have the experience in something, but they may excel in it. There are a lot of people who may have a very limited schema, and you cannot, or a limited awareness of something. You cannot judge them based on that yardstick because that's what they know. So what they
Hmm.
know might be less than what you know, but
Exactly.
just based on
Uh,
on, on, on what they're exposed to.
Hmm.
So yeah, it is
I,
big in helping us to learn, but it's not the only
I
thing.
want I want to echo what Janelle said too, because the question you pose is if experience is the greatest teacher. And
Hmm.
I would love to say yes, but at the same time, also can or would like to say no too, because to me it's 50-50 because experience is a great teacher, but knowledge also plays a significant part. So you might not necessarily be aware of something and experience it. Doesn't necessarily mean that, well, because I didn't experience something that I can't be good at it, or I can't
Hmm.
be, like knowing is key. Knowledge is key. So that's a major part of, I guess, the whole versus series where it comes to experience versus being naive. Because naive to me, and based on what you just said, and your big fancy words and all that, there, right? But it for me, like if I could sum it up in like three words, I would say naive is being immature. Um, I would say not necessarily immune to things mentally, but I would like to say too trustworthy in certain aspects too. So those are my three.
Elbow.
All right. Well, I thank Mona for giving your points of views. I myself agree with what Rico was saying, that he said you can have experience and make the same mistakes, which is pretty much the line that I had planned to get on tonight to disprove the
Yeah.
theory that experience is the greatest teacher. I believe that it is a facet of the entire pie in order to become wholly a better individual, a better lover, a better person, a better whatever you want to be in this life. But experience alone can't cut it. There's nothing that stands alone that does everything for the entire situation of coming outside of naivety. So let me get straight into it. And I want to go straight into one of the probably the a popular topic that will come to mind. Let me speak about child rearing. Now, myself and
I know
Janelle might
real.
have a little more experience, but Kita, I see you every day with a little youngster, and you was mentioning from time to time. That's considered child rearing too. So you got adequate experience that you could bring into this thing. But when I was told that I am about to become a father, I was in a state of naivety because you heard through society that it's supposed to go this way. You're supposed to, um, I don't know, have a really good connection with the mother, and when they're gonna go through the pregnancy together, when they're gonna be happy, when they're gonna be focused, and all of these things. Everybody's experience is probably different, but mine was that I was very nervous because it was a very new enterprise or a new undertaking that I was about to go into. I know that it was something that was also a long term situation. It wasn't like I can be I can be okay. I could take a day off or I could take a break from this thing. This is saying that can be with me for life as long as I live in. So it was very, very scary. It was heavy. I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, I talked to people around me to try to find out from their experiences what can I do to make this situation easy or simpler. Let me say that. because there's nothing about it that was easy. But fast forwarding, the baby come in. I remember my first situation when my daughter, a baby in hand, a couple days old, was here with me, and I was trying to feed her, and she crying, and she didn't want to take the thing, and like I freaking out, no, cause I like, but this supposed to be like just put it in, and she's supposed to know what to do, and I just start freaking out. I call my mother. So at that time, my mother working. I hospital. But I said, "Mommy, I watching ain't taking thing. What going? What to do? I can't let she starve. She gonna die. Okay." so so what happened is my mother tell me, wait till she drops sleep. It's because the taste of the bottled nipple doesn't taste like the actual nipple. And then when she drops it, and I put it in, she bought a little girl slurp off everything. So it's like my experience now. I had a little experience badge that I get from my naivety of having a baby in hand taken care of, that I thought I ready. And even though it's like right now, my job as a father of a teenager is to help her to know what awaits her in the real world. And that's something that we as parents or as human beings gotta do. Because aunties and uncles and them is parents too. We gotta big them up wherever it is. And if they're playing an active role in each other's life, it is like we got so much to offer these children, but yet we have to remember our experiences are not going to be theirs. They have to shape their own. I know we want to protect them, but sometimes being naive is good, because it's helped them to have a practical working idea of the things that are going on. Talk to me about that. Tell me how I'm feeling. Tell me how I'm feeling about them things. Max a spark me for the one. Max spark me.
Well, you ran all around the world in 80 days, to be honest, because they're trying to keep up. But as a parent, as you will identify when it comes to lacking the experience in the beginning and then learning as you go. And for having another child, although I had the experience from before, raising her has still been different. So I'm still learning on the go. Because with
Right.
parenting, I always say, they no one but they know nothing to say. There are things that will occur that will be similar right across.
Right.
So you start to pick up on when a child hungry or whatever, but then the characteristics that come, there is no experience that can help me raise my children how they want me to raise them. They nothing. It is
Mm-hmm.
on the go that is going. So as Kid
Right.
was saying, is a lot of knowledge. Although yes, experience is knowledge, or knowledge is experience. I don't know, there is a connection there, but
Mm-hmm.
I know that as you said, not knowing things and then keeping myself open and also keeping them open to experiencing things as they go helps a lot, more than being the experienced person. Oh, I know everything. I know everything. That doesn't really help any situation, because then when people are trying to help you, you ain't gonna be paying much attention. You don't want to hear what nobody say because you know it all. Are you
Yeah.
saying same with your children? Your children talking to you, or as they grow older and they get more into you, you'll be like, I went through this, you gotta learn from me. But sometimes they need
True.
to go through these things themselves. So it does pay to be naive in that case on both fronts, being the parent learning on the go, and then for the children as well. You want your child to be able to pick up on things on their own. There isn't everything that you would have experienced that they would experience. There isn't everything that you know that they need to know at the time that you learned it. And then, of course, they know a lot more than we might know at points too. So that around the world, I do you. I get what's going on here.
I can't even have a real in-depth conversation with y'all on this topic, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
But what I can say is that as a non-parent in the group, or even though I do oversee someone, but as a non-parent in the group, like in a situation like what you were in, Chad, I could read as
Mm-hmm.
much books. I could read as much books or learn as much as I could learn from hearing people talk on what's not. But till you are actually in a situation or experience that situation, you would never know what to do without having to have the experience factor in it. So I guess both go hand in
Mm-hmm.
hand,
Yeah.
because you can't be too naive, but you also can't be a know-it-all at the same time. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
that was as much as I could say. I probably would have panicked, and just like you did, I would have freaked out. I would have. I don't know that situation that you just threw there. Like, I would not have known what to do. So I get you. And
Yeah,
me
I
as a
didn't know
non
either.
parent, I
No.
I don't know, so I know go learn, but at the same time I
Mm,
would have to consult someone experienced to learn from. So you
right.
get me.
But yeah, but that's the same thing that I was mentioning because for me, I didn't know what he actually was doing. It's just that I know this is my daughter and I love her and I want to feed her and I want to take care of her. And it just was not working. So what did I do? I spoke to somebody who had more experience, which was my mother. And she explained to me what was the situation. So sometimes we do need the opportunity to speak to people who were in the positions that we were in and so that they can guide us to a path to a solution or give us a solution. Because think about it this way, right, Keita? You may not necessarily be a practical parent, like everyday life, because you got a child out there that carrying you blood or whatever the case may be. But the fact of the matter is that you still apply that to somebody else's that you got is your sister's godson, right?
Yeah.
So thinking about it this way, right? We as a people, because I gotta highlight the fact that Breonna Taylor, them killers ain't get put to justice or nothing, or they get acquitted. Just the same way like how Emmett Till get killers get acquitted. Look at the fact of how the world is going. The fact of the matter is that this is the information age. We have the opportunity now to speak and communicate with people that we otherwise never had. So things
Correct.
like talking to your sons or your daughters and letting them know being black is an issue. You have to recognize where you line up in this life. When we were children, information wasn't that easily shared. You understand?
Correct.
So I could understand us being reared in a naive type of mindset. But the fact that I got working knowledge no long before I had a daughter, I should be applying this to her real life so that she grows up with a different experience. She shouldn't be growing up with money. Because think about it, in the past when we grandparents were growing up, they had to walk miles for water. Then certain things happen. We evolve. We get water coming to we standpipes. So we had standpipes in the district. See, I had to go too far. Then we evolve
If
some more, and we
or
starting to get water coming to we house. So
sometimes
my thing, well, yeah, sometimes in Barbados, sometimes still, but
Sometimes.
but the fact of the matter is that life is always about evolving. So there's no reason why a black child should be growing up with this bubble mentality or mindset that they don't know where they line up within actual working society. And then we gotta talk about we young girls. Because the young girls, like I was like every time I talk to women now, and women get comfortable talking to me, they tell me like, they had a run in with a situation where they were either raped or almost raped. And I like when I serious, like I feel like if the world was over my eyes when I was a teenager, and I didn't know that girls was going through this stuff because we don't talk about shit. So at this point in time, we need to be more forward with the information that is available to us and that is out there, so that these children can see that the expectations that are waiting for them or that dropping on them without when they go outside of the safety of the home, they have to understand what the real world is expecting and figuring them out to be without even knowing them. So that's why I believe naivety is one thing and experience is another, of course, but we gotta start switching up the way that we use and tailor experience to stop making our children so unprepared and therefore making them victims of naivety. You understand? So that is something that we definitely need to recognize it here. So looking through the chat while they was talking.
yeah,
Yeah,
I hear what you're
because
saying.
when you were speaking
Yeah.
to, oh, go ahead, Keisha.
No, go ahead. I was reading the comments from chat.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hear
I was
so
really
yeah.
happy because when you were speaking, as much as I do agree with the fundamental point of making sure we don't want our children to be ignorant, Frico actually pretty much said what I was thinking though, is that as a parent, you aim to protect children from your experience, causing them to be naive. Because there isn't everything that you want to expose your children to. There isn't everything that, okay, for the same way we think that Black Lives Matter.
Right.
That is a big thing for me. All right, that is a huge thing for me. But my son is not something that he wants to identify with right now. Meaning that he don't like. to hear about all the trauma that people go through. So
Because it's
then
depressing.
I wanted to talk to him about it, but I had to then take a step and say, well, let me take the cues from him. I want to have these conversations. I think I need to have these conversations, but he is not ready for them. And that is where then experience said as a parent, you know, gotta say, okay, let me backtrack here. I know as a boy growing up, you can be a man and you can go through all these things, but I gotta know, okay, this ain't the right time to approach this yet. Let me wait
Hmm.
until, you know, more
Yeah,
happen in his life.
you want preserve innocence. You
Yes,
Yeah,
because
but
he himself it was also he is also trying to protect himself. He's not ready for
yeah.
them, and I gotta
Uh-huh.
know, which goes into your
yeah,
parenting styles. You know these styles that we adopt as a parent usually comes from where we came from as how our parents were with us. But every child is not suited for that type of style, and we gotta learn as we go. Hey, well, my mother was the authority. She was authoritative. She was a disciplinarian, but my
Right.
son may just want somebody who is gonna allow him to be himself, be more indulgent. I don't get twisted. It's still a disciplinarian, but I gotta
Hmm.
know, okay, when to push, when to pull, when to step back, and that's where I kind of say that's where experience comes because is learning as you go. Just
well, to
keep
be honest,
rolling with what you have.
yeah, I get you because, like, for instance, we don't take into consideration that our parents, even though we as children look at our parents as the justified persons that you can consult or else for anything, they are also learning when they were parenting you too. They were also learning a job about you. We don't give them enough credit for knowing that they were also learning. So whilst we might think that we disciplining children is because they used to discipline us, that was probably what they thought was best at the time. They probably
Hmm.
didn't see it the way you see it. No, with the different techniques of disciplining children or what's not. But that's just the situation as it is. And to be honest, there is a very thin line between innocence and naive.
Hmm.
And I get where you're coming from with your son not wanting to go down that lane because that is kind of depressing. And as somebody at that age coming up into the world, you can tell yourself, "Well, this is what I gotta look forward to in the world." Like
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
gotta look forward to racism and black
Hmm.
versus this or black versus that. But
Yeah.
I guarantee you that in the future he will appreciate it that you were trying to give him that message from an early age because it gets real until
Yes,
you actually
yes.
experience it. Like I've experienced racism in my past. Till he actually experiences that, he can then click to me like, "Child, boy, my mother was telling me about this. Yeah, I didn't realize it
Yeah,
was this deals, and I don't
Hmm.
understand where this coming from." Like it will hit him definitely hard. Like, but it's something
and there's
that
only so
we
much you can
can.
do.
But at the same time, I don't want people to be too naive to these things. So I understand the world should be equal and whatever, but it's not. We can't just sit around and tell ourselves, well, like, and we got equal rights and equal opportunities. I can go over there and get this job, or I can go over there and get this job.
Hmm.
We know the truth behind everything. We know what the world is like. But it would be good, to think that and that it should be like that. Everybody has an equal chance, but we can't be naive in not knowing that we can't get same jobs as these particular set of people because of our skin color or because of the way we look. So nah.
Uh-huh.
But what do you think,
You,
Chabo? What do you
uh-huh.
think, Chabo? The line between like innocence and like being naive because it's like you innocence is like knowing a certain amount of things and you operate it within the lanes of what you know, and it's
Hmm.
like you're innocent. So you've
Right.
never been exposed to evil or what is
Hmm.
deemed bad. You just
Right.
operate based on what you know. But to
Uh,
me, naivety would be like
yeah.
you knowing of these things outside of your standards, but you're choosing not to go with it based on your preference.
Okay. Well, let me say this here, right? I do agree with what Beijing feminist is saying because she's stating that we need to appropriate the language for the age or because I don't want to say age only because there are some children who are very very smart, they're able to decipher information really well. Some because everybody got different learning curves. Some people are really quick with it, some people slow with it. um, so I agree to an extent that we have to paint the language a certain way before we just go and be like all gloom and doom on children. You understand? I don't
Yeah.
want make it seem like the world is a shit show, even though it is. But
It
Yeah.
is.
the
But we don't.
fact,
But we naive.
but it's like you protecting innocence. I get it, and I all for that because if my daughter isn't ready for certain conversation at 8 years old, I can
Yeah.
I could maneuver around that. We got to
It's
preserve
balance.
innocence, of course. We got
Or
to
balance.
preserve innocence, but there's also something called willful ignorance. And willful ignorance is where people know that something is bad or something is wrong, and they still choose to act like if it is not. So that's like me saying, okay, my daughter is XYZ age. We live in an area where everything is nice. We don't got no cursing wrong. We nothing so that I could preserve that innocence. But if we got a whole bunch of people around me that's cursing and get on, and she's seeing certain things and certain behaviors, I can't protect you from all of that. But I can tell her the reasons why those things occur, and then help her to shape an idea and some knowledge behind what she's seeing, and don't allow her to lean on her own understanding, which is naivety. And then you come up with some predetermined notions that really and truly don't work. So
Right.
my thing is yes, tailor the conversation to your child or children based on what they can receive, because you will know your children good enough. But at the end of the day, we still have to recognize that even though we are protecting them, it still don't change the outside world. So we still got to prepare them for certain things. After a certain age of God, we know that, oh, you should be able to deal with your own underwear. You're supposed to be able to know your way around the kitchen to deal with breakfast. You should be able to do this. So if we know they're supposed to do all that, we gotta get them ready for the outside world as well, because them is skills for the outside world. So my thing about innocence, yeah, preserve it, but still we gotta let these children know what time it is, because you can't play that game in this life. That
Please.
this is not the time for that.
But at the end of the day,
I
it all
When
boils
you bring
back
it
down
up
to
like
no.
that,
It all boils back to, sorry, Janelle, but it just all boils back down to knowledge and understanding. Because if you
uh-huh.
got to understand how your child is built or how your child is structured mentally, to
Uh-huh.
understand what would be a good thing to introduce to him at what age or where he's at in life. So
Right.
I was just saying that knowledge still plays a
as
key part.
right, and then so to go from there, and just like what the Beijing feminist is saying, we there is a difference between youthfulness and naivety. There's a difference between being naive and experience, yes, but being naive is not that it is an age something, because we don't want that. We put too much on children. So, like what she's saying as a teacher, I'm constantly dealing with children who are not allowed to be children because innocence is devalued. So you're taken away from their building an experience by putting too much there for them to have to deal with. And we need to then learn, hey, it is not just about the age of which a child is that they need to know these things. It may just be a matter of timing. Where
Hmm.
then leads me to another topic, because you see this parenting thing here, we'll be here forever.
Yeah.
I wanted us to look at naivety versus experience in terms of leadership. So just indulge, bear me a little bit. I was reading a story recently and doing this here because I don't want to know that I be in a class for whole 3 hours before I come in here.
Yeah.
But there's a story talking about what are they and are they essential to leadership, looking at our dispositions. So really quickly, Arsenal once wrote an intriguing and acclaimed short story called The Shooting of an Elephant. The story
Hmm.
takes place in the mid-1930s in Lower Burma. Wells was a young police officer in the province that was still under British colonial rule. He describes in detail how he was pressured into killing a tame elephant that had escaped his trainer's chains and was enjoying a day of freedom. Unfortunately, the elephant ravages a local market and a man is killed by the elephant. Over 2,000 Burmese were watching and waiting to see what he would do. What happens next is an example of what leadership courage is not. He goes on to say, I halted on the road. When I saw the elephant, I knew with perfect certainty that I ought not to shoot him. What he do? He shoots the elephant anyways. And he said, I often wonder if any of the other person's grass that I had done it solely to keep from looking the fool. So people actually then start to question it. Like what valuable lesson did he learn here from that experience? People can say that it was a lack of courage related to him being youthful. It could be a lack of judgment. It could be a lack of, his conscience and really just for just doing the wrong thing. He really didn't care, or is that he just didn't have enough in him? So was it youthfulness? Was it a lack of experience? What is it that would have led him to shoot an elephant that he knew he should not have shot? And that's a lot of things that happens when we were talking about and people being naive. Is that they have the ability to know better, but they are comfortable sticking in that particular position.
Yeah.
But and then so do we look at naivety based on it as an age something, or do we look at it as just being where some person is? So look at Arson Wells here. He was young. Was it he shoot the elephant because he was young? He said he didn't. It was because he didn't want to look foolish in front of everybody. But was that there?
Well, I could tell you this. I could tell you this, right? You just made a point at the end that is very important for people to understand, because we started the conversation about children, but the fact of the matter is that all of us, every single one of us, even outside in the world, are, I would say, perpetrators or victims of naivety, because we have to understand that we constantly be students. We have to stay in our mindset so that we don't stay stuck in our ways. And when you become stuck in your way, you still naive, because you
Right.
are trying to learn how the world is evolving, because the world is forever evolving. They say change is a constant. It's something that can never stop. Whether we here for hundreds or thousands or millions or whatever years, it is
Mm-hmm.
something that is going to be a part of us. No matter how many experiences we gain, we can still be naive to something or someone or whatever. So let me take the emphasis now of children, and let me put it on ourselves for a change. And let me talk about the government and politics, because we got a lot of experience with government. We got a lot of experience with politics or politics, as the Rasta man they say. Because he's still a Rasta man. It's just that my locks invisible right now. But the fact of the matter is, right, we just see the same formula repeating itself, repeating itself. And we still fall victim to it, because we got people that will go down die hard that them is a B or D or whatever, Democrat or Republic, whatever the case may be. We all know in the end that politics is a game. We all know that there's a formula to this thing. And we still see a lot of corruption, we see a lot of scandals, we see a lot of inadequate behaviors, especially in we government. Like, in parliament, we to hear about a man pulling out a gun and all kind of thing. It's like, when have we ever seen a person publicly humiliated, losing their ability to be a person that's running for a governmental position, or a ministry position, for example, by doing that sort of thing, being proven that they have been corrupt, that they have been inadequate with their behaviors, that they've been shameful to the society, to the whole country, whatever. We still allow these people to canvass in our neighborhoods and act like if everything is okay. Cause you here, man, I want to see another politician come by me. But then when it's time for the you know the politicking to happen, all of a sudden you want to take pictures, you want to be there at the rallies, you want to work, you want to do this thing. Why is it that we allowing the experiences over these however long we did alive, allowing we to still be so naive to these government, these politicians? Why is that? Tell me what wanna feel about all there.
Um, I don't think that. I mean, politics is
Remember,
one thing.
remember the emphasis of for children. No, we on upon adults. That's the reason why we went down this line. You don't got necessarily
No, it's
stick on
cool. I mean,
government. You
I
understand?
brought a valid situation to the story. I didn't understand where she was going with the story. I didn't understand exactly what you mean with being naive with politicians, but I guess it's always be a short term memory thing for me.
Mm.
Um, and it's all to be about not really self righteousness, but making yourself feel good in a situation. So you might be in a situation where you might not even believe a word that the other party's saying, but you just unhappy in your current situation, and you jump and are running and doing this because it look good or making you feel good at the time. I mean, being naive is be something like it's happening every day. Like being able to be saying daily that we do every day, and we don't know that we're doing it sometimes. Like
Mm.
I'm sure everybody has told somebody. Everybody in this shop, I know for sure, has told somebody. Don't worry, man. Everything can be all right. You can be good. Everything
Like
can be
what?
blessed. You can be good, man. Cheer up. You can be good. That is the opera. I know a lot of people sit down and say, "Man, you're right. Yeah, you can be good, man. You can be good." But that could be that could be deemed as being naive, or that could be deemed as being I would say gullible, because naivety got a certain amount of gullibility in it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are real,
Mhm.
real gullible. And for instance, back to where you were talking about politics and what's not, like a lot of people are really gullible to what is going on. People is
Mm.
like to side with people when they're seeing things and not necessarily think for themselves. So one buddy might sit up and say, "Man, this government ain't doing this government ain't doing that." And there are more people saying so, this buddy gonna jump on board as opposed to looking at the facts or whatever and say, "Man, I can do this with this buddy because everybody, I told her Frenchman can't be wrong, blah blah blah, and they can do this and they can do that." So they got a lot of naivety that goes on in politics, but is there something that we can do to stop this level of naivety? Like, because there is some good in being naive, but it's to what extent? So it is really to what you know of the situation.
Hmm. Well, I think, right, in regard to to answer your question, I believe that people need to recognize that the same way how these individuals need us to elect them to do a job that they are supposedly qualified to do, and then they don't do it. We, the people that gave you this power or instilled the power within you, have to recognize that our power does not begin and end at a ballot. It begins and ends with us. Period. There's no other in between. But that is where the noise and the confusion of the signals happen. Because if it is that something happening, I can go far out here now. If something happen in Iran, a law is passed at the people and like what the peoples do, everybody stop
Correct.
what they're doing and they take to the streets. Because they understand that they themselves have the power. Yes, I may not be the one to be able to sign a document and say this legislature has passed, but they know that if they are not happy, we the majority, one is the minority, one gotta do what we say called we put one a there. And that is where I believe the problem is stemming. Because all of this thing about people want something to believe in and people need this and people need listen to me. You know what we need? We need to have morals and we need to have higher standards. If it is that you aren't doing this job and you got all this fancy QC, HMNP, WXRZ behind your name and you can't do this job, you need to leave. Sir or ma'am, whoever you are, you need to leave. And that's
I
how I
swear,
feel.
I
Straight
swear
up.
you was
Get
gonna
up.
say. I swear you was gonna say we need justice. I string your head.
I
We
start I
need
start rolling my head.
justice.
I start
We
rolling my
need
head.
justice.
Nah, man,
But I
we get
get
left
you.
out that one. We get left out
But
that
I
one
get
for
you.
tonight.
I get you. I get you 100% because we put these people in the positions of power, and then like to what extent, like we still don't gain nothing by putting these people in these positions. So I get exactly what you're saying, buddy.
That's where I'm thinking. You see, because as much as Chad is saying what he's saying, our system is not one that allows for what he's saying to be in play. Our system
Yes.
is it
Uh-huh.
begins at the ballot. That is when we that's the time that the system is democratic. Because after
Hmm.
we vote, we have put the power into these people to make the
Yeah.
decisions on our behalf. And we could fret and we could carry on, but there is only so much that you can do to agitate and change anything. Yes, no, no, we are more empowered because we don't have to look to religion for information. Everything is there at our fingertips. You don't have to look to anything for these things. The knowledge is there. I should say the information is there, which then makes us more experienced because with information means
Yeah.
that you should not be as naive. But we still have to understand that this is how the system is. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I would
Yeah.
be and then carrying on or whatever. But be that what you telling me? That I'm a public servant to act like it?
No, I talking to Crystal.
Oh,
Talk
why
about
you telling me?
Crystal.
No,
Because
No,
that is a true thing, though, you know. As
Yeah,
a public
yeah.
but
servant,
You know,
but
I
you
got
know,
Janelle.
but
the
Charles,
words I
I
say.
I agree with Janelle, because like there's a lot that we can't change, even though we put these people playing. Like even they themselves, and they just can't change certain things that they do. Like there's a lot of people that struggle, no confidence, emotion, and these all these different things, and they still don't change. And I really don't know. I really don't like to get into the thought about politics in detail because it's be very tiptoey because we don't want to step on certain people's toes, and these people has passed laws every day that is benefit them up top and
No, you
that sort of
cannot
thing.
answer.
These
I
people
want to
is
step on
pass,
toes.
you
You
want to step
can't.
on toes. These people is
Learn
pass laws.
I got time. I got
Not
time.
tonight. Not tonight. Not tonight.
I mean,
And you say,
we can't be tiptoeing the wrong things. We here so to be up inside these people, and we here to challenge them and challenge the authority and these sorts of things. Because if we keep the mentality that, oh, we don't like to get involved in this conversation because of this and because of that, things can always stay this way. Change and revolution don't come from people playing it safe. You gotta put your life on the line. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
but try like all right. So we've been naive when it comes to these voting and what's not, and to think that
Definitely.
that
I
that these
wholeheartedly believe
people.
that.
And we be really even believing that these people are against one another because at the end of the day, all of these
You know.
politicians is to pay a salary, and
And you hear
all these politicians is to be friends. You know what I'm saying? So don't get
Of course.
twisted.
Of course.
There's a lot of people out there that think that this beef or this what going on in parliament, and you hear people cuss out this buddy and this buddy quarrel with this buddy
Yeah.
is real. You
Yeah.
understand? But I don't. You know what I mean? Like you don't like to get in between or involved in certain aspects of these people because you know who's who son godmother or who's who son godfather or this buddy's called this buddy a cousin or whatever because these people yep. So it's like
our friend
I
right?
exactly. So
Hmm.
yeah, but I mean we talk about politics, right? We talk about children and that sort of thing, right? But
Hmm.
let me talk a little bit about relationships, right?
Yeah, man.
Um
Family and relationships. Let me get into
you
it
get
because I love this
you get
topic, man. Let's talk about it,
you
bro.
get
Let's
you
talk
get
about
so
it,
you
man. Let
get
me get my hat. Let me get my hat right for this rapping here, man. Let's talk about it, man. Talk to me, bro.
all right. I don't mean relationships in the aspect of man and woman or whatever.
Of
I can
course
only talk
not.
about
There's more to life than just that. We ain't talking about just relationships and things. We talk about all of them friendships,
yeah, exactly.
mother and son, mother and daughter, whatever. Yeah, we talk.
So you might go a friend, right? Male, female doesn't matter, but you yourself might be naive to believe in
Mhm.
things because it is your friend. So I it might be an unpopular topic, but there got a lot of people that come to you with sad stories because they know that you might be genuine or have a weak heart or what's not, and they use the you being naive to their leverage to tell you bits and pieces of information that happened to them. So, for instance, I got a partner. He started talking to this young lady, and the girl come telling him that she all boyfriends to beat she and this and that,
Yeah.
34th, and she in poverty
Mhm.
and things hard and this and that, 34th, and
Oh.
like he started to feel real sad, and she got him to the point where he was buying everything that she said. Then
Hmm.
he actually did his investigation. Mom's down the line. None of what she said was the exact truth.
Once
So
don't know.
The exact or
yeah,
any
because
truth? Which one?
people use your naivety to get the best of you, you know. So
Yeah.
somebody
Like the
might
woman in
you
front
might
here,
just
Shepherd.
forget, but well, she ain't using money. I ain't naive, she can tell you that that's me.
Yeah,
But
you got
the average
experience
person,
now. Yeah.
might be. I've
Chris
never been,
answered
and the
you
average
right.
person, yeah, the average
Chris
person might not because I can tell you like a lot of people in there that I woman Frankie Shepherd for sure. That woman, like a lot of people in bad at child, but on a real like people use your naivety to play with your emotions and go from there, and that is a real. I guess, touchy subject for a lot of people because everybody's experienced somebody using their naivety against them for the person's benefit. So, what are your guys' thoughts about that? Even the people in chat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I know
people
it is,
talking,
bro. I
the
really,
people them
I honestly
talking.
see that people do take advantage of it. They know what buttons to push. There's some people out there who use their experience to um prey on people who are naive. Because there are a lot of people out there who don't have the experiences in relationships or whatever, and they like to hear or like to see how they can help somebody. And the people always say that, like we always some a man does want a damsel in distress, and a
Mhm.
woman will want a knight in shining armor.
Don't save
Although
her.
that
She don't
becomes
wanna
all
be saved. Don't
storytelling,
save her.
you just still want to know that you helping people or whatever. When it comes to friendships, it's a real give and take where you thrive off of helping others. So you imagine you meet somebody and it's like, oh, there, wait, this thing, next thing, and like, shh. And if you're about, and if you're in a position I can help, I can try to help. So the poor fella know hook up with this girl. I know she right, Chris. He has a story story, but he hook up with this girl, and he's gonna go all out. And you see, then what is it that would have led him to check? Because there are a lot of us who just go on and just get married and don't even know that the body just don't even be that honest and thing with you. It's only then years
Yeah,
later, I know all these things that are going on and you have a clue about.
yeah,
Uh,
cool.
but so we do
Because
have,
love, because you're in love, and everything you be given, you get
you
married,
know,
or you might be unhappy in a relationship and tell yourself, "Oh yes, I can get married and things can get better because love is the answer to all." And this and that. And I'm not saying that in not situations where that might be true,
Hmm.
but most of the time, I would say over probably 70% of the time, it isn't. And people fall into that trap all the time of being naive. And it ain't necessarily only marriage, but friendships, work relationships. People be naive at work, and sometimes it be for their benefit, and sometimes it isn't.
Are you saying Rossi so saying that you gotta do your checks first? So I know about to ask Ray is do the checks cause I know women got women got a really good
means
background setting thing. I don't know how this guy do, but we as fellas
my
is got a little tougher.
oh, what he
But
name?
but but
Hey,
let me say this here, right? I want people to understand the dynamics that people gonna always be people, right? And blood doesn't always carry for me personally, let me just put that disclaimer out there. That blood don't always carry all the weight. You understand? Because if you don't prioritize me as one of my family members, I'm prioritizing you. I'm not going to be naive with this mentality that, oh, you gotta pull out all these thoughts because there's my family and that's my blood and this and that's in third. Because to me, that's me not learning from experience. If it is that there was a time I really needed you and you could not be there for me, tell me why I can be the body killing myself to be there for you.
Because
You
your
understand?
family,
Right. And
I'm
that's
probably more
supposed to
like no
be
family.
that's supposed to be the justification for everything. I is a man that
Yeah,
I be straight. I is call a spade the time. And the family concept does only work for me when I see the same effort being placed. If I pulling out all these thoughts to you and there's a time I need you, I expect that you're gonna be there for me. Obviously there's got
correct.
certain circumstances that will occur that you may not be available. But I speaking about like when I really and truly need you, and then it's like you thinking hard to even got my back. Nah, that can't fly for me. Cause I've met people that I am not related to that have done more for me than some people within that I share blood with. You understand? So I don't be naive with this thing, and that's why sharing with people tonight, cause we put a lot of weight and value behind blood relation more so than the action itself. So I ain't with that one. Wanna could tell
I
me how
know.
wanna feel
I know.
about that family thing.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we fall into a trap where as soon as you are understanding or deemed as an understanding person,
Uh-huh.
everybody like to manipulate you or think that you are able to
A
be
sweet
naive
bread.
to the situation. Yeah, you're the sweet bread. You naive, so I could trick he. I could run hoops wrong he. he naive. He. But they don't understand. I guess the person's characteristics. So I get where you're coming from for sure. Especially with family. Like if you ain't keeping out seeing energy when I need you, don't expect me to pretty much give you back the same energy based on that. You understand? So I get
Yeah.
where you're coming from.
Well,
I
man
think we're
is
gonna study
already
that.
trying to say this tank on already. But somehow to the
Time,
one affection we
yeah,
wanted to speak about the accused, the one
time
mentioned
gambling.
accused said, truth is enough people in society naive to certain things. That got half the scams that people get caught up in. Hey,
Ah,
Oh
there we go
yeah.
now. Let me
Wake up
go.
now.
Let's go.
wake up
I
now.
I going sleep. I
Let
going
me wake up
sleep.
now. Let me wake up now. Let me wake up now. Let me wake
No,
up now.
again. Forex, we don't want to
Let me wake up
mention
now.
that. There we
Nobody want to
go.
talk. Nobody don't want to talk before it's not all of a sudden. Oh, all right, no problem. No
Hey,
problem.
you all,
No
everybody
problem.
know, guys.
No
I
problem, man.
just
No
wake up.
problem.
I
Let
just
me wake
wake
up
up.
now.
But why do you
No,
think
let me
that
wake up
people
now.
are is so easily misled into getting involved in these pyramid schemes and these what
Yeah.
they want to scam because you know you want to have hope in these things. So what do you think that people get all caught up in them?
You know what
Y'all see the
scam
circle?
backward?
You see this
You know what
circle?
scam?
You see this
Uh
circle? You see?
huh.
Want to see this circle?
Yeah,
This
I see
circle
that
is a circle
circle.
that this circle is a circle that they call the blessed circle, right? The
Okay.
Ponzi schemes. They got a lot of Ponzi schemes out there right now that are trying to
Oh
manipulate and use people naivety because things are hard during COVID and
right.
people could get money fast, fast, fast
Yeah.
before the implication of thinking of what going on behind the
Yeah.
scenes. You
Yeah.
understand?
People suffering
So
right now, so they're open to anything that meaning that they're gonna
yeah.
flip money quick. You know.
I could pay 2 grand and get 14,
32.
20 grand in
32.
4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, let me do it. Let me do
Yeah,
it.
boy.
That makes sense. That makes
Listen,
sense.
but I
It
want
does.
to recognize,
It does make
right?
sense.
I want to recognize that what scam backwards
Cash grades. Yes, Russell.
is
Cash
spelled.
grades.
Let's scan backwards.
Scam
Scam?
backward is Max. Who's got Max? Think about it. Who's got Max?
Who's got
The
Max?
beauty industry. So the beauty industry is a scam. That we tell them to be a slow no. But anyhow,
Yo, what?
there's the fact the matter here, right?
Chad,
Yes,
Chad,
Janelle, go ahead. Go
Chad,
ahead.
You wrong for that. You wrong for that,
Chad,
Chad. You wrong for
Chad.
that.
Wait, hey,
You wrong for that.
I just
No, for
saying.
that.
But
Now
Let
nah,
wait.
but
me
seriously
say this.
though, but seriously, like these get rich quick schemes
Yeah.
don't ever work out. And if y'all didn't learn that from Wake Up No, you are purposely being naive. There's no reason to be this naive. You think that out there that this magical decision, what you like this got me so hip though, right? Because look at it this way, right? What all of a sudden during a pandemic that people can got this money to pay out to you for paying in this amount of money, all of a sudden you gotta get 2 people on you and you gotta do this and you gotta do that to get this money? Nah though.
Which is literally a pyramid.
Wow, look at the
It's not
pyramid.
a pyramid, it's a flower. You're all missing the point. It's not a pyramid, it's a flower. So maybe a new
Wow.
name may help people to be like,
Wait, you call
okay,
it? Is a what? You say
a
is a what?
Flower.
flower. And then the flower just closed. I listen though. Nielsen says she's listening, they say no. And then somebody else say they don't even listen. I don't listen because
Not me
I want
though.
more to be like,
No, fire.
Not me
Hey,
though.
fire for that. Fire. I ain't working
Not
with
me
it.
though.
No. This is
I don't
madness.
want to see nothing.
You
I don't want to
can't
hear.
beat me
I
and kill me.
interested. I got
I
no
know like too good
money.
to
You
be
can't beat
true,
me and
but
Keep your
kill me.
flower.
I ain't buying it.
Keep
I ain't buying it.
your
You can't
flower.
beat me.
I
chill.
don't want none at me. I
The
don't
flower,
want it. Keep your
No.
flowers.
flower,
Look, trust
it's not
me. Over the past 2 3 weeks, about 4 or 5 different people approached me about the same Black Circle or Cash Crates and all these different little things that going on right now. And it's the first thing I do, right? When people come to me with these things, right? Is I said, all right, no problem, cool. I can think about it, get back to you. Go on YouTube, type it in. I'll read the reviews. I'll read the
I,
reviews, cool. I'll read the reviews, and you will see exactly where everything is broken down with how much of a scam this is, and where these things going, and where to
It's
start
a
from.
max, dog.
and show you like this is nonsense. This what's that Maki Tony saying? Child, this beer nonsense, this beer nonsense.
There be an answer. There be a man. There be an answer. There be an answer.
That's exactly what it's. That's exactly
Listen,
what it is.
listen. Vince here no come in and said drink a shot every time Chad just see hot. So you know she
Big
about to
drop.
get drunk right now.
Big drop, like,
You know she can get
big
drunk
drop.
Yo,
now.
but what I want to say though, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody in chat for keeping the chat so alive and keeping things
Yeah,
going
man.
on the
This was a
regular.
great
We
episode,
get some
people.
real good interaction in chat. I want to thank everybody for being a part of UpInsideYuh podcast, and
Yeah,
it
man.
wouldn't be possible without you guys in the chat for sure. I
Yeah.
want to say a big up to the sponsors. First and foremost, let me big up Trevor and Tony's Tech Service every single
Thanks.
time.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
you'll be real naive to think that was a regular car service. That man has come to and thing. That man epic
Man, sorry,
for
yo. That
sure,
man is
for
worth the
sure.
thing.
Big up, big up Bell for sure. Every single time, big up Bell.
You'll be naive if
Um,
you still using sanitary napkins, dog. Keep it
Yeah,
moving.
we done with those. Put a cup in it.
Yeah.
put a company. All right, we big up Trading Cuts Barber Studio every single time for sure. Big up
Yeah.
Trading Cuts. Try to take off the hat
Yeah.
for that one for sure.
Yeah.
Big up
Gotta,
Trading Cuts.
gotta show them what's going on. Yeah. Boom.
Yeah. Big up Alarosity Media Production. Big up
Listen, you'll be
Alarosity
so
making it
naive if you
happen
never hear about Alarosity Media Production, big man. Them is who's got we
for
looking
sure.
so pretty, coming to winner
Yeah.
every Thursday at 8 p.m. You understand? So follow the movement, bring the business,
Big up,
make it look sweet.
big up for sure. Also, want to large off me first. Mobile massage therapy.
But you hear
And
about them?
me second is me first. Is me first for sure.
First.
Yes, that's what it's all about. Putting yourself first, people.
Yeah. I
Oh,
also want
and
big up
uh-huh.
the Barely Sober Entertainment
Boop, boop,
for
boop, boop,
sure.
boop, 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 boop. You're
Big
very
event
naive
coming
if it is
through.
that you're going to that event. Well, I hear so counting down the days,
Look,
big
a little birdie told me they got saying in December, so I listening
Oh,
close
you
to
looking out, you
the
looking out.
yeah. December, so we in the
So
see a
don't
little
be
birdie
naive,
coming through.
people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
want to miss
done. No.
that.
So, Janelle, you got anything to say to the people? Any closing statements? You got 2 minutes, I believe.
I just want to say that being naive, there's no excuse for you staying naive. It is okay in certain circumstances to
Thank you.
be,
Uh-huh.
but there is no excuse for you to stay that way. All right. So
Right.
learn from your experiences and learn from your experiences of others. Man. Stay
Okay.
example.
And for me, this is what I can say that we all experience naivety, no matter the age, whether it's something new, like if you never traveled before and you gotta go through the airport, people just expect that you supposed to know how to get through the airport. You brand new, but the experience is always great. It's something new that's expand your brain. You feel yourself expanding. So understand that to talking with each other, gaining working knowledge, gaining experience, stepping outside of your comfort zone, that is what we all need to do. That's what we need to get away from only naivety and move over to experience. You understand? So never be closed off to being a student. That's the only thing that is when you get stuck in UV and you become old and archaic. So keep your brain open and keep learning, people. Keep being a student. That's
After
what we're
that,
working with.
after that strong speech, what about you, Kita?
Yeah. Lastly, I just want to say, being naive is one thing, but at the other time, also having knowledge and having experience is very important. So it's best to leverage the two. Um, there's no such thing as being too experienced because it's impossible. There's always
Correct.
something new to learn, you can't be too naive, and that is really, I would say, a really horrible thing in the circumstance. So we gotta balance it. I would say that especially in situations where persons are involved or personal relationships, don't be too quick to judge somebody or don't be too quick to say that you understand something. So with that, folks, I just want to say have a good night. Thank you for
Good
being
night,
a
everybody.
Good night. Thank
interactive
you, love you,
audience.
man.
Peace
We
and
really
love,
Support.
love
Thank
and
appreciate you
you.
peace.
guys.
Thank you.
I
Justice to
even know,
Breonna Taylor.
yeah, for sure. I don't even know which episode this is we are right now, but we